Hello and welcome back to Inside the 20. Today we are going to be going over my week one recap. We're going to be doing a little different for those who were tuned in last year. We're going over my top three games from the season and giving you guys a small little insight of all the other games around the league. So let's get into it. So, starting off with my first of three games, we have the Steelers and the Jets facing off in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Pittsburgh gets the W 34-32 over New York. And in this one, A-Rod looked back into his prime form with 4 touchdown passes, including 2 in a 50-second span in the second half. And Chris Boswell just locking in and entering his freaking like Justin Tucker, hitting a 60-yard field goal with just about a minute left to give the Pittsburgh Steelers the 2-point advantage, which they would eventually hang on to and get the W. Rodgers, who was released by the Jets, and new coach Aaron Glenn in the offseason, relished the win, saying, "I love beating everybody." He said, "I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets. I didn't have any hard feelings about it not working out. I didn't maybe appreciate the way it went down in the end, but that's in the past, and we're 1-0. His late drive included a crucial 11-yard catch by DK Metcalf off a tipped ball, setting up Boswell's decisive field goal. Jets quarterback Justin Fields, also facing his former team, ran for 2 tutties and threw for 1, but came up short in the final moments. Fields put the Jets ahead 32-31 with a 1-yard touchdown run, but failed a 2-point conversion. The Jets had a chance to respond late, but on 4th and 3, Jalen Ramsey delivered a very hard hit on Garrett Wilson, forcing an incompletion that sealed the game. "We can't have turnovers," said Jets coach Aaron Glenn. He also said, "We have to be a more disciplined team. You will not be on the field with this team if you're going to cause us to lose games." Fields finished 16 of 22 for 218 yards with 48 yards rushing. Rodgers, who joined Tom Brady for the most games with at least 4 touchdown passes and no interceptions, 28, made an immediate impact despite boos from Jets fans. After a sack on his first step by former teammate Quentin Williams, Rodgers then responded by throwing a 22-yard touchdown pass. The Steelers capitalized on a turnover when Kenneth Gainwell forced a fumble on the kickoff return, leading to an 18-yard touchdown pass from Rodgers to Calvin Austin. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin praised Boswell, saying, "Our kicker is a serial killer. He's got a low pulse rate. He can't wait to deliver." Rodgers credited his kicker for the win, saying, "Boz bailed us out with another amazing kick. It was a good team win. A lot of new guys made some plays. Proud of our guys." Going to the Monday night game in Chicago, Vikings get the dub over Chicago 27-24. JJ McCarthy's long-awaited debut for Minnesota started off shaky, but a halftime pep talk from Coach Kevin O'Connell inspired a dramatic comeback. "You are going to bring us back to win this game," O'Connell told McCarthy, and the rookie delivered. He threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes and ran for another to lead the Vikings to a 27-24 season-opening victory. McCarthy, who missed last season with a knee injury after being drafted 10th overall, finished 13 of 20 for 143 yards. That guy is one of the best, if not the best, coaches, in my opinion, in the National Football League, McCarthy said of O'Connell. Adding the encouragement gave him the confidence to execute in the second half. The Vikings trailed 17-6 in the third quarter after a costly interception return by Chicago's Nahshon Wright. But McCarthy's connection with Justin Jefferson for a 13-yard touchdown sparked the rally. Minnesota quickly took the lead with a 27-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Jones and a 2-point conversion to Adam Thielen. And McCarthy sealed the win with a 14-yard touchdown run late in the game. Bears quarterback Caleb Williams, who had a rushing touchdown and threw for a score, kept Chicago close but couldn't overcome Minnesota's late surge. "We don't win this game unless JJ plays the way he did in the second half," O'Connell said. "Most importantly, he kept the belief of this football team behind him, and now we know it's possible." The Bears struggled with penalties, committing 12 penalties for 127 yards, and missed key defensive players due to injury. Williams acknowledged execution, not play calling, was the issue. "It's just able to go out there and execute the plays that are called and be able to execute them at a high level. That's something that we take pride in today, and that didn't happen." Vikings linebacker Blake Cashman left with a hamstring injury and will be evaluated. While the Bears continue to deal with the absences in their secondary, Minnesota will host Atlanta next Sunday, while the Bears travel to face the defending NFC North champion Detroit Lions. To the final of the three games, the Bills get the comeback win at home over Baltimore 41-40. Josh Allen had a message to send to the fans who left early Sunday night, and maybe for the entire NFL. He was able to rally the Bills from a 14-point deficit in the final 4 minutes. Allen threw 2 touchdowns, ran for another, and orchestrated a final 66-yard drive that set up Matt Prater's game-winning 32-yard field goal as time expired. Josh has always been like that, Bills coach Sean McDermott said. He wants the ball in key moments. That's what the great ones do. Allen finished with 394 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and tied the Bills' all-time win list at 77. The Bills' defense bent but didn't break against Derrick Henry, who rushed for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. While Lamar Jackson accounted for 3 total touchdowns for Baltimore's high-scoring offense, Henry's costly fumble with just over 3 minutes left opened the door for Buffalo's comeback, leading to Allen's go-ahead touchdown run and the final scoring drive. I told my teammates after the game, put the loss on me. I own it like a man, Henry said. Baltimore became the first NFL team to lose despite scoring 40-plus points and rushing for over 235 yards, while Buffalo overcame a fourth-quarter 15-point deficit for only the third time in franchise history. The intense game lived up to its playoff rematch billing, with 929 total yards combined and an electric atmosphere at what was Buffalo's final home opener at Highmark Stadium before moving to the new stadium next year. The drama even spilled into the stands when Lamar Jackson shoved a fan after the man struck receiver DeAndre Hopkins during a celebration. The fan was ejected. Rookie kicker Tyler Loop made 2 field goals for Baltimore but missed a crucial extra point, while Zay Flowers posted a career-high 143 receiving yards. Next week, Baltimore hosts Cleveland, and Buffalo travels to face the Jets. All right, now let's look at some of the other games from Week 1. Starting out in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Chargers beat the Chiefs 27-21 with Neymar and OBJ in attendance. Justin Herbert was 25 of 34 for 318 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Chargers snapped a 7-game losing streak versus Kansas City. Quentin Johnson had a breakout performance with 5 catches for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing promise after inconsistent early years. Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worley suffered a shoulder injury after a costly collision with Travis Kelce. Despite a strong second-half rally, Patrick Mahomes' team fell short. In Atlanta, the Bucs get the road win over the Falcons 23-20. Rookie wide receiver Emeka Egbuka made a huge impact in his NFL debut. 4 catches for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner with under a minute left. Mayfield was 17 of 32 for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns, while Bijan had 6 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown. The Bucs won their 5th straight season opener, extending their franchise record. The Falcons' offense struggled majorly. Atlanta couldn't respond after giving up late-game touchdowns, showing difficulty in closing out games. To the Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati beats Cleveland 17-16. The Bengals' defense actually played a pivotal role in the win, generating 3 takeovers. Interceptions by Jordan Battle and DJ Turner. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins were underutilized. Chase had 2 catches for 26 yards, limiting Cincinnati's usual big play potential. Burrow threw for just a small 103 yards in the final 15 minutes. One of his lowest outputs, though the team still secured a win. Chase Brown did his part, rushing for 43 yards and 21 carries with the opening score. For the Browns, Dylan Sampson led the offense with 20 touches and caught all 8 targets, showing versatility and promise. Old Man Flacco was a mixed bag, completing 31 of his 45 passes, 290 yards for a touchdown, but threw 2 picks. Special teams struggled in the game, with rookie Andre Schmidt missing an extra point and a potential game-winning 36-yard field goal. To Indianapolis, the Colts rocked the Dolphins 33-8, snapping an 11-year Week 1 drought. Daniel Jones, in his Colts debut, threw for 272 yards and accounted for 3 total touchdowns, 1 passing and 2 on the ground. And it's worth noting that the Colts scored on all 7 possessions. The Dolphins struggled badly. Multiple turnovers, poor passing, and multiple injuries compounded their problems. And fun fact, did you know that the Dolphins have a cornerback named Storm Duck? I mean, what an insane name. Being named Storm Duck? I mean, that's actually a pretty tough name. I found that out today, dude. That's literally insane. Going to the Raiders game, the Raiders get the W over the Patriots 20-13. Raiders QB Geno Smith had a strong debut, throwing for 362 yards and averaging 10.6 yards per attempt, with the use of 12 personnel being especially effective. Tight end Brock Bowers went for 5 receptions for 103 yards, but suffered a knee injury near the end of the third quarter. Luckily for the Silver and Black, it appears Bowers will be back in action for Week 2. To New Orleans. Don't even get me started on whatever the end zone was in New Orleans, bro. Those uniforms might have been worse. It's pretty debatable, dude. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. Cardinals beat the Saints 20-13, taking advantage of 13 Saints penalties that repeatedly stalled drives. QB Kyler Murray managed the game efficiently, going 21 of 29 for 163 yards and 2 tutties, while Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride showed flashes of greatness. For the Saints, defensive end Cameron Jordan finished the game with 1.5 sacks, 3 pressures, and a batted pass. Other than that, there's a lot to clean up in New Orleans, especially those end zones. To Washington, the Commanders get the dub over the Giants 21-6. Jaden Daniels ran for 71 yards and threw for 233, while Deebo Samuel had 96 scrimmage yards, including a key touchdown. Krosky Merritt showed promise with 10 carries, 82 yards, and a touchdown. Dude, I sent you a trade for Krosky Merritt. You know who you are? I need you to see it, bro. Like, accept the trade, bro. Like, it was literally like, it's in your favor. Like, just accept the trade. I need him so bad. Kenneth Walker is my freaking running back, dude. Like, no fantasy team is going to survive with Kenneth Walker as your running back. The Commanders' defense allowed only 38 rushing yards and brought continued pressure to Russell Wilson. With Russ under constant pressure, the Giants' offense came through with just 231 yards and 6 points. Offensive line is a major issue in New York. The good side is that Malik Neighbors did have an average showing with 5 receptions for 71 yards. On the defensive side of the ball, the G-men recorded 3 sacks. Rookie quarterback Jackson Dart remains patiently awaiting in the shadows as Wilson is slated to get the Week 2 start. To Jacksonville, the Jags get the W 26-10. Travis Etienne clearly the number one back with 143 rushing yards, including a 71-yard touchdown setup. In fact, the Jags traded backup Tank Bigsby to the Eagles after this performance. The Jags D forced 2 turnovers, a sack, and stopped 2 fourth downs. For Carolina, Bryce Young continues to struggle, throwing 2 interceptions along with a fumble, finishing 15 of 31 for 144 yards and a touchdown. Rookie Teteroa McMillan finished the game with 5 receptions for 68 yards on 9 targets, a solid start to what could be a big career. The Panthers' run defense, I mean, it's basically just the Bengals. The Panthers are basically just the Bengals without an offense, if you really think about it. To Denver, the Broncos get the home win 20-12 over Cam Ward in his first game and the Titans. Defense was dominant this game, with 6 sacks and only 133 yards total for the Denver defense. Lots of hype around Bo Nix after last season, but not his best showing in Week 1. He threw 2 picks and lost a fumble. And to be honest, they're really lucky they were able to get away with this win. On the other side, rookie Cam Ward in his first ever game showed poise in the pocket, making some big throws despite completing less than half of his passes. To be honest, I really thought Tennessee was going to pull the win here, but I mean, he's in his first game, dude. Cam couldn't get nothing done on that final drive. To Seattle, the 49ers get the dub 17-13 over Seattle. This was a costly win for the 49ers. George Kittle, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, and Jawan Jennings missed time, showing the team is relying heavily on star veterans and young talent. Kittle is expected to miss 4 weeks. Bro, Kittle, you just freaking sold my fantasy team, dude. What do you want me to do? You want me to start Mark Andrews at tight end? Mark Andrews at tight end. Like, are we serious? George Kittle, you were the centerpiece to my fantasy team, and you just had to go and just cook yourself, bro. Like, dude, way to freaking go, bro. Well, Brock Purdy, who went 26 of 35 for 277 yards and 2 touchdowns, is also set to miss 2 to 5 weeks with what appears to be some sort of turf toe. It's also worth noting that kicker Jake Moody missed 2 field goals inside 40 yards and was cut after the game. Despite the loss, Seattle's defense carried the team with 2 forced interceptions, which kept the game competitive. It seems like they're going to have to compensate for an underperforming offense all season. As far as Seattle's rushing game, it struggled. Kenneth Walker got fewer snaps than Zach Charbonnet, 20 compared to 29, and the team ran for only 84 yards, underperforming their ground game. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I can't survive with George Kittle out, no running back game, and Kenneth Walker as my starting running back. Now, the bright thing is that JSN had 124 yards on 9 receptions against the 49ers, and I traded for him. Absolutely fleeced who I traded with. Not gonna dox anybody on this podcast. But just know that you got fleeced. Packers at home get the dub 27-13 over the NFC North champs, Detroit Lions. Let's start with Micah Parsons' impact. Okay, even with limited snaps, he forced quick throws and collapsed the pocket, helping create a key interception and a sack for the Pack. Jordan Love showed efficiency early, completing 5 of his 7 passes for 2 touchdowns, including a 48-yard deep ball to set up a score. For Dan Campbell and the Lions, they failed to score a touchdown until the final minute. This is shocking after what we saw from the team last year. And it wasn't Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jameson Williams who caught the lone touchdown. It was rookie wide receiver Isaac Tesla. Cornerback Terrion Arnold left the game with a groin injury, highlighting ongoing durability concerns after last season's defensive injuries. Going to our final game, Los Angeles Rams get the dub over Houston 14-9. Puka Nacua caught 10 passes for 130 yards despite missing some snaps with a concussion. Stafford with a notable milestone in this game, passing 60,000 career yards, becoming the 10th quarterback in NFL history to do so. On the defensive side of the ball, the Rams did not allow a Texan touchdown, keeping Houston scoreless in the second half. For Houston, the offense struggled. They scored 0 second-half points. Quarterback C.J. Stroud was pressured heavily and sacked 3 times. And they had limited wide receiver usage. Pro Bowl wide receiver Nico Collins only had 3 catches for 25 yards, showing a lack of offensive creativity. Alrighty, that'll do it. Thank you for watching. This has been Inside the 20 with your Week 1 recap. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things. You're amazing, and I thank you. This has been Inside the 20 with your 2025 Week 1 recap. Peace.